Look at your hands. They are always grasping, always reaching for the next thing, the next dollar, the next title, the next brick to add to the wall you are building around your life. You tell yourself this is wisdom. You tell yourself this is prudence. You look at the calendar, at the gray hairs appearing in the mirror, and you feel the cold breath of time on your neck. You think, I must prepare. I must be safe. I must build a fortress so that when I am old, when I am weak, I will not suffer. And so, you trade your fire for stone. You trade your current strength for a future comfort that may never come. You are like a soldier who spends the entire battle gathering heavy iron plates from the fallen, strapping them to his body one by one. This will protect me, he says. This will keep me safe. But the weight grows. The metal restricts his movement. His breathing becomes shallow. He can no longer swing his sword. He can no longer run. He becomes a statue of iron, immovable, waiting for the rust to take him. This is the state of the modern man. You are buried alive under the weight of your own preparations for the end. Miyamoto Musashi, the sword saint, the demon of the 60 provinces, saw this trap clearly. As he sat in the Rigondo cave, facing his own death, he did not count his gold. He did not check the deeds to his lands. He did not worry if he had enough rice stored for 10 winters. He wrote the Dokkodo. And in the 18th precept, he cut the throat of your anxiety with a single stroke. Do not seek to possess goods or fiefs for your old age. Read that again. Feel the violence of it. It goes against everything you have been taught. The world tells you to accumulate. The world screams that your worth is the size of your estate, the numbers in your account, the legacy of objects you leave behind. The world tells you to be a squirrel, frantically burying nuts before the winter comes. But the warrior is not a squirrel. The warrior is a wolf. And a wolf does not carry a backpack. This is a dissection of your fear. We are going to open up the chest of the modern man and look at the heart that trembles at the thought of tomorrow. We are going to strip away the rusted armor you have been wearing, piece by piece, until you are naked, cold, and finally, undeniably free. Why do you hoard? Be honest. It is not because you need 10 houses. It is not because you need a mountain of gold to buy bread. You hoard because you are terrified of the unknown. You look at the future and you see a void. You see a time when your muscles will wither, when your eyes will dim, when the world will no longer respect your physical power. This terrifies you. The modern man defines himself by what he can control, and aging is the ultimate loss of control. So, you try to build a substitute for strength. You think, if I am weak in body, I will be strong in possessions. If I cannot command respect with my presence, I will command it with my property. You build a fortress. You seek fiefs, domains, businesses, investments, not for the joy of creation, but for the fear of destitution. You are building a cage and calling it a castle. Musashi warns you. This is a lie. The fortress does not protect you. It enslaves you. Think of the energy you spend guarding what you have accumulated, the anxiety of the market crashing, the fear of theft, the endless maintenance of things that do not breathe. You become a servant to your own possessions. You wake up in the middle of the night, not worrying about your character, but worrying about your assets. You have become a guard dog for a pile of stones. Is this the life of a man? Is this the way of the warrior? To seek goods for your old age is to admit defeat before the battle is over. It is a declaration that you expect to be useless. It is a vote of no confidence in your own soul. You are saying, I will not be enough, so I must have things to prop me up. Musashi walked the length of Japan. He defeated the Yoshioka clan. He broke the spirits of masters, and in the end, he retreated to a cave. He did not seek a lordship. He was offered positions of power, urged to settle down and become a wealthy retainer. He refused. Why? Because he knew that ownership is a tether. To own a fief is to be owned by the responsibilities of that fief. To possess goods is to be possessed by the fear of losing them. Musashi chose the wind. He chose the clarity of the empty hand. He knew that the only true security is the capability of one's own mind and the stillness of one's own spirit. If you build a fortress, you must stay inside it to defend it. You can no longer travel. You can no longer explore. You can no longer evolve. You stagnate. And in that stagnation, You die long before your heart stops beating. Let us look deeper into this seeking. Rule 18 is not just about money. It is about attachment. Goods and fiefs are metaphors for everything you drag behind you. The trophies of your past glory, the reputation you carefully manicured, the identity you constructed for the approval of others. You hold on to these things because you think they are you. You say, I am the man who owns this land. I am the man who achieved this title. I am the man who has this much stored away. You are creating a museum of yourself, and like any museum curator, you become obsessed with preservation. You stop living in the present because you are too busy dusting off the exhibits of the past. You want to ensure that in your old age, you can look back and say, look what I did. This is vanity. It is the ego trying to solidify itself against the dissolving power of death. The Stoics knew this. Seneca, the great Roman philosopher, was one of the wealthiest men in Rome. He had goods. He had fiefs. Yet, he preached the daily practice of poverty. He would sleep on the floor and eat stale bread to remind himself that his fortune was not his master. He knew that fortune is a fickle mistress she gives with one hand and takes with the other. If your peace of mind depends on the goods you have stored, you are fragile. A storm can destroy your house. A war can destroy your currency. A scandal can destroy your reputation. If your identity is tied to what you possess, you can be destroyed in an instant. But if your identity is tied to who you are, to your capacity to endure, to your ability to find calm in chaos, to your discipline, then you are invincible. Fire cannot burn your character. Thieves cannot steal your wisdom. Time cannot rot your spirit. Musashi did not want fiefs for his old age because he did not want to be defined by what he held, but by how he stood. He wanted to die as he lived, sharp, present, and unencumbered. When you seek possessions for the future, you are essentially saying that the future version of you will need crutches. You are betting against your own resilience. Imagine a climber who insists on carrying a heavy supply of oxygen tanks for the summit, even though he is only at the base camp. The weight of the tanks exhausts him. He moves slowly. He stumbles. He never reaches the summit because he was too weighed down by the preparation for it. Drop the weight. Trust that when you reach the high altitude, your lungs will adapt. Trust that you will find a way. Trust in the resourcefulness of the man you are becoming, rather than the hoard of the man you have been. There is a storm coming for every man. It is the storm of irrelevance. As you age, the world stops looking at you. You are no longer the young lion. The attention shifts to the new generation. The weak man fights this by buying significance. He buys the flashy car. He buys the younger partner. He buys the grand estate. He screams, I am still here. Look at my stuff. Look at my power. He uses his goods as an anchor, trying to hold his place in the rushing river of time. But the river is stronger. The anchor drags. The chain snaps. And he is left drifting, panic-stricken, because he never learned how to swim. The warrior does not need an anchor. The warrior becomes the water. Musashi's rule is an invitation to fluidity. Do not seek to possess. Do not try to freeze time. Do not try to concrete your existence. Flow. The man who owns nothing, in terms of attachment, is at home everywhere. If he loses his house, he sleeps under the stars and finds beauty in the constellation. If he loses his fortune, he works with his hands and finds dignity in the sweat. He is not afraid of the storm because he carries his shelter inside his ribs. This is the steel mind. It is a mind that does not require external validation to feel secure. It is a mind that looks at old age not as a time of gathering, but as a time of refining. Think of the old masters in the dojos of Japan. They are often thin, frail-looking men. They do not own much. They wear simple gi. Yet, when they move, there is a terrifying precision. When they speak, the room goes silent. They do not need a fiefdom to command authority. Their authority comes from 60 years of discipline. Their goods are the sharpness of their technique and the depth of their gaze. They did not spend their lives building a safety net. They spent their lives building a sword. And now, even as their bodies fade, the sword remains bright. You, modern man, are doing the opposite. You are building a massive, golden safety net, but you are letting the sword rust. You are fat with possessions but starving in spirit. You have everything you need to retire, but nothing you need to live. There is a darker truth here. Comfort is an assassin. It kills the drive. It kills the hunger. When you obsess over securing your old age, you are obsessed with securing comfort. You dream of the day you can stop working, the day you can sit back, the day you can relax. You are fantasizing about your own funeral. A warrior does not retire. A warrior shifts his battlefield. Musashi wrote the Book of Five Rings weeks before his death. He was painting, writing, meditating, and teaching until his final breath. He was not resting on a pile of gold. He was working. He was creating. He was engaged with the void. When you focus on accumulating goods for the end, you start to make safe choices in the now. You don't take the risk that could define your life because it might endanger your portfolio. You don't speak the truth to your boss because you might lose the pension. You don't pursue the art that burns in your soul because it doesn't pay enough to guarantee the lake house at age 65. You sell your soul in installments. You are paying for a safety you might not even live to enjoy. How many men work themselves into the grave, accumulating wealth for an old age that never comes? They die of heart attacks at 55, leaving behind a fortune for ungrateful relatives to squander. What a waste. What a tragic, hollow waste. You sacrifice the fire of your youth for a pile of ash. Musashi demands that you live with urgency. If you do not seek goods for old age, you are forced to live fully now. You are forced to rely on your skill now. It keeps you sharp. It keeps you hungry. It keeps you on the edge. And the edge is where the life is. So, what is the path? Do you burn your money? Do you walk away from your home? No. That is the reaction of a child. Musashi is not asking you to be destitute. He is asking you to be detached. There is a difference between having gear and being dependent on it. You can have the money. You can have the house. But you must not seek it as your salvation. You must not let the desire for it drive your decisions. You must be willing to walk away from it all tomorrow and be exactly the same man. Imagine, right now, that it is all gone. The bank accounts are zero. The house is ash. The titles are forgotten. Who are you? Are you a trembling victim, crying for what was lost? Or are you a man of steel, standing in the rubble, breathing the cold air, ready to build again? If you can find peace in that image of loss, then you are free. The goal is to cultivate a wealth that cannot be taken. Discipline is a good that inflation cannot devalue. Courage is a fief that no government can confiscate. Wisdom is a treasure that does not rot. These are the possessions for your old age. Invest in your body not to preserve it like a mummy, but to temper it like a blade. Invest in your mind, read the greats, study the world, conquer your impulses. Invest in your tribe. The loyalty of brothers is worth more than any insurance policy. When you build these things, you do not need to fear the future. You do not need to hoard. You know that whatever comes, you have the tools to handle it. You carry your fortress within you. Musashi lived by the sword, but he died with the brush. He evolved. He didn't cling to his past victories. He didn't cling to the physical prowess of his youth. He let go of the physical to embrace the spiritual. He did not possess. He experienced. The sun is setting. The road is long. You have a choice. You can continue to trudge up this mountain carrying the heavy sack of your insecurities, adding rock after rock, terrified of running out, terrified of the cold, terrified of the dark. You can arrive at the peak exhausted, broken, and surrounded by a fortress of junk that blocks the view of the stars. Or you can cut the straps. You can drop the weight. You can stand up straight. You can realize that you were never meant to be a storage vessel for dead things. You are a channel for living energy. Hear the voice of the Dokkodo. It is not a rule for monks. It is a command for kings. Do not seek to possess goods or fiefs for your old age. It means, do not barter your present honor for future safety. It means, do not let the fear of death dictate the way you live. It means, trust yourself. The world wants you weak, dependent, and bought. The world wants you to need its products to feel safe. Rebel, find your safety in your stance. Find your wealth in your will. Let the others build walls. Let the others count coins in the dark. Let the others tremble at the thought of the winter. You are the fire, and the fire needs no pockets. Walk forward. Empty hands, full spirit. The path is open. This is the way.